Howdy, I am Zero Severus, and if you could comment below on the parts of the video you liked and didn't like, I would really appreciate the feedback to help me grow as a content provider. Thank you. In this episode of Alan's Saga, I need to tell you a very important memory. Unfortunately, my recording stopped, and not only was a lot of very intense gameplay missed, but so too was the story of Peanut. Alan was beset all around by hell dogs. I've never seen 3-4 sets of hell dogs in such close proximity before. I was commenting on it, and one of my viewers suggested that these hellhounds caused Alan to think about his dog Peanut. As you can imagine, I didn't really know the Russian word for peanut, so I had to improvise as best I could. I'm going to recount the story of Peanut. He became a very beloved memory to Alan, and the viewers ensured that Alan remembered Peanut often. When Alan was nearly a teenager, his father bought him a puppy for his birthday. Alan and Peanut bonded as quickly as a boy and a dog could. That summer, a very funny man came to stay with his family for a short time. He had a peculiar language and accent that Alan would later learn to be English. The puppy was very quirky in personality, and Alan could not come up with a proper name for him. One day, the puppy was at the Englishman's heels and caused him to trip. The Englishman went to curse, but realizing the small boy, he yelled, "Get out from under my feet, you stupid Peanut!" And so the name stuck. Alan and Peanut did everything together, as you can imagine. A few years had passed, and particularly a harsh winter came through Siberia. The family was short on food, and so Alan's father came to Alan with a knife, and his father told Alan that in order for the family to live, Peanut would have to die, and so it was up to Alan to not only kill Peanut, but to butcher him as well. Alan never forgave his father for this, but he did tan the hide of Peanut, and to this day, he has kept Peanut close to him as the poncho that he wears today. Alan Holloway decided that he had such good luck coming down to the Catfish Grove that we should start here again. Despite how many times he's been here on a hunt, he's never found the sculptor, but obviously the sculptor was somewhere nearby, because no matter how many times the spider was killed or a butcher was killed, it seems that another takes its place. The waters were quiet. You could see the crows on the bridge, of course. There would be crows on the bridge. So as much as Alan feared and hated the water, he had to go through. He could feel the ground squishing under his feet. He'd never seen any of these things called alligators, but he'd heard stories of them. He didn't want to meet them. He hoped that at no point the sculptor would ever get the idea to create one of those beasts. You hear the dogs moaning. As he heard the dogs moan, he had a brief flash of thinking of his dear, beloved Peanut. An axe. The axe. That took him back. Back when he had to chop wood. It seemed like you were never done chopping wood back in Russia. Winters were cold and harsh. You always needed wood for something. Cooking fire. Drying clothes. There's always something. Gotten good at swinging an axe. You've also gotten good at wielding a knife. One crack. Two cracks. Split the beast in two. It was very fortuitous that there was a clash of lightning and thunder. As he obtained a part of the essence of the creature he needed to hunt, he had a devilish thought. He dropped his axe. His eyes, thoughts of fire brimmed within him. Picked up a lantern. Decided that this armored beast needed to burn. The sight of him. Burn! Burn! As Alan pulled the knife from the back of the rotting flesh. He saw bits of its body hanging. Oddly enough, maybe it was the essence of the butcher within him, but it called to mind when he was a young man. He'd always heard of the foods that were devoured in America, that were eaten in America, which is part of the reason why he had come to America in the first place. The first thing he did when he got off the boat was went into an inn. He'd heard about American food and the way the Americans eat. I mean, he loved his borscht. But at the first tavern, first saloon that he had ever spent time in, they had pot roast. And somehow pulling these knives out of the back of the heads and bodies of these twisted people, it called him back to when he was an older man and ordered pot roast at this saloon. And it did not disappoint the way Americans would eat. He got a giant plate and thick slabs of this American meat. The beef was thick, it was coarse, and it was fatty, and it was swimming in gravy. He'd had gravy before, but maybe the Russians were more conservative than these Americans, because it seemed like this roast was drowning in it. And the potatoes on the side, and carrots, and all the fixins. That's when he decided that America could be home. Which came to no surprise that eating, having a full belly, was more important to Alan than things that would be considered to make someone human. As he ran and sauntered up the road, he decided that if he was going to extract, if he was going to live this time, at the moment he got off the ferry or the carriage rides, he was going to get himself some pot roast. He often wondered if he could only hunt alone, or if he should hunt with another. He wasn't sure if he could ever trust someone the way that he trusted himself. Moans with creatures in the distance. Reminded of him. Reminded of him of his time in the military. As he would hear men in the trenches moaning. Something to pass the time. Something to pass the time. There were rituals to receiving tattoos in Siberia. That a man had to do something of note. That his tattoos were to mean something. That they weren't a frivolous thing to obtain. And he had done many things. He had done many things to earn his tattoos. Come back here, I want to talk about your pretty mouth. Oh. What is that other hunter doing helping him? Yeah, he's helping him extract, goddammit. Fuck. That was weird. Never seen that before.